All right.
Guys,
Hey, John's here. All
time.
right.
you take a picture. You guys just starting?
Yeah, we
Just
are.
now starting. Hello. This is Speaker's Corner for Sunday on 12/21. This is the last Speaker's Corner before Christmas of '08. And today it's probably a little bit warmer than 8 degrees that we had last week, but nonetheless it's cold. And we are here. It's a little bit warmer. We're again in beautiful downtown Denver. And we're inviting all of you to come on down and share with us your opinions and anything that's on your heart that you want to get up on the soapbox and tell the world this is the perfect forum for it. This
What's
is
on your heart today?
free speech in America.
That's right.
So on my heart today, a couple of things. One thing is yesterday's headline. John, another frequent speaker here, he's always bringing up current events and what's in the paper, and that's a really good idea. So I'm going to do that today. And yesterday on the cover of the Rocky Mountain News was a line that says Colorado is somehow going to have to trim their budget by $600 million. We're having economic hard times here, and Colorado's got to find a place to do that. And there's a couple of places that they can do that. And I'm going to talk about one place in particular, and that would be with DOC, the Department of Corrections, where we house all the prisoners in the state of Colorado that have been deemed unfit to be on the street because of the crimes that they have committed. There's a lot that could be done in that area. Number one, you could quit putting people in jail for smoking marijuana. What a stupid thing to do. The other thing right there would save, I would bet, hundreds of people would be on the street right there. The dealers, you need to take by a case-by-case basis. And I don't even think they need to be. What you need to do is punish them soundly and squarely and make sure that they don't want to commit that crime again. And that goes for all the prisoners in Colorado. We got to quit treating prisoners like clients at a country club. Go to Boulder County Jail. These guys can play, or Jefferson County Jail. These guys can play basketball, they can play volleyball, they go to the weight room, they can push weights, they have a law library so that they can, and they have various other programs, they have vocational programs, and it's just not a hard thing to be in jail these days. It's warm in there, they get 3 squares a day, and back on the East Coast where the economy is really hard and these guys have no chance of getting a job when they get out, they're getting in fights week before they get out, so that they're forced to go to another year in prison because they don't want to go out on the street because it's so cush in prison. Let's take the example from our friend down in Arizona, whose state did not have enough money to build the jail that they promised him, but he had a lot of prisoners, so he put beds up in tents. And they had a bunch of acreage. They put up a chain link fence with razor wire around the top, and he put all the inmates in tents. And if the inmates didn't like it, too bad. That's just where they had to go. And maybe they wouldn't like it well enough that when they got out, they wouldn't commit the crime again. And that brings us up to another solution. I don't want to just talk about problems and not have solutions, because one of the biggest solutions to high prison population anywhere is recidivism, the rate of recidivism. That how many men are in jail that this is their second, third, or fourth time in. We want somebody that's going to go to prison to never go back again. Therefore, prison needs to be punishment, not rehab, not a chance for them to get an education that they never ever got. We got all of that out here. There are alternative education programs. There are people doing really well, giving problem students a chance to go to school when they didn't go to a regular high school. Recidivism is a major problem, and one of the reasons we have recidivism is because people just don't mind going to jail. They'll get out of jail, they'll go hang out with their old friends that got them in trouble in the first place, And they say, if I get caught robbing a bank, then I'll just go to prison. So what? Big deal. And if I don't get caught robbing the bank, then I got $50,000 for nothing. So it's a win-win situation for these guys. And we need to quit making it a win-win situation program. These guys get into prison, shave their head, tattoo a number on them, and punish them for their crime. And if you say you're going to give a guy 10 years for a certain crime, then give him 10 years. Don't let him out in 2 years. Don't let him out in 18 months. Give him 10 years. Do what you say you're going to do. If you're going to have capital punishment, if you're going to put a guy on death row, then execute him within 7 days of the day you hand down the sentence. And don't waste 10 years and $13 million on the appellate system. We need some leadership in this state that's going to get control of this budget. And the prison budget is just out of control. We got to quit housing these guys like clients and treat them like the prisoners and like the anti-societal people that they act like they're being. So I guess that's what was on my heart today. I'll turn it over to John.
Want me to go next? Okay. Well, it's a cold day down here at Speaker's Corner. We're all shivering, and but we're getting it ready for springtime. And so, who knows? Some of these Sunday afternoons are nice and warm, and so we're here at 4 o'clock. This is just a chance to try to develop a soapbox in Denver, and we figure if we do this long enough, people will start showing up and listening, and maybe seeing it on YouTube here.
That's
so
right.
Thanks for doing this, Barb. What's on my mind today is what I read in the newspaper. Here's the Denver Post suggesting that Bill Ritter appoint Mayor Hickenlooper as U.S. Senator. Ken Salazar's going to Washington as Interior Secretary, which is great. I think he'll do a great job of that. It leaves his seat vacant, and now Bill Ritter gets to appoint his successor. I think if I would try to think of a worse choice, I couldn't think of a worse choice than Mayor Hickenlooper.
Doesn't he have enough money to buy a seat?
He is still a little bit of a political newcomer. The big problem is he's created all these problems in Denver that are just coming to fruition, and the chickens are coming home to roost. And to give him a quick out to Washington would be a tremendous disservice to the city of Denver. One example is the new Justice Center that's just coming up. If you go on the internet, you can see that that's way over budget, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. They're not shutting down anything. Once this new Justice Center is built, they still have Cherokee Street, they still have Smith Road. The expenses are going to go out of sight, and the mayor should have allowed that to happen. The homeless problem. They had a thing this week reading the names of the homeless that have died here in Denver. That's because of our homeless program. We have this shelter first concept. They call it the road home, and it's killing these people. And then they have a gathering like this to read all their names. I'm amazed the mayor had the guts to show up to that. John Stossel did a segment on this. Bob Cote at Step 13's got the right idea. It's the homeless industry is cropping up. It's the same thing with the corrections. That's why we have such a big corrections program, is because we've allowed that to become a profitable industry. And we've got to put sharp controls on these things and look at what's really happening. And that's not to say that people don't need help. We do need to have mechanisms in place to help these people, and it's a problem, and I'm hoping that some smarter people than me get together and figure out what to do, because it's a growing problem. It's getting increasingly worse. And maybe this discussion here at Speaker's Corner, if you disagree with anything you're hearing today, be down here next Sunday, because maybe you've got the right idea, and we'll hear it from you. Now, also in the paper, though, I do want to agree with something, and that's also in the editorial today in the Denver Post, and this is by John Andrews. He wrote a nice piece here on why Christmas matters.